Okay, finally, we're gonna do the Walking Dead Days Gone By, the first volume, so sit back and let's go. So, I'm just gonna tell you how it is. It's gonna be really spoiler, and for now, before I even get into the everything else, before the spoilers and everything, I'm just gonna say, if you like zombies or anything about that, like survival situations, about like, I don't know, about, what could I say, about zombies more or less. If you like anything like that, supernatural stuff that might happen, get this book. It is fantastic. It shows how people can get really screwed up in the head, like Rick's friend, he got screwed up in the head, and then I can't say anything else because it will ruin it. But yeah, it's only, I think I bought this around 10 or 11 bucks, so great buy then. You can buy all the volumes if you want. So, now let's get into this. So, how this story got started. So, there's an officer called Rick and his partner, Sean, and they both got together and they were fighting off somebody, a hillbilly if you want to say, and he just got out of prison, he broke out more or less, and they were doing a firefight or a gun down, where they're shooting back at each other and everything. Rick says, our backup's going to be 10 minutes. He said, let me get cover, so he ran out. Sean gets shot in the arm, so he drops his pistol, and Rick gets shot. Then he wakes up from a coma about, I think it was a month or a few weeks. So then he woke up with no nurse. He was calling out for nurse and everything. He looks around, nobody's there, and he goes into this big cafeteria that he finds all the zombies in. He doesn't know what's happening, so he runs outside with one of them almost attacking him by biting him. He doesn't know what happens. The whole town's just gone. He doesn't know where anybody is. He goes to his old house, and we get to meet two new characters. I can't remember their name. Just one sec, I just need to read the book right quick. Okay, for this part, I just came back. It was Morgan and Little Dwayne, they call him. So, there's that. So, right after they meet up with him, he asked him what was all going down. He doesn't really know, saying the government wants him and everybody else to go to Atlanta, the big city, so they can protect everybody, which the government was supposed to do. So, Rick says, okay, I think it was my wife's parents are there, so he goes off there, thinking that they're there. So he goes along, and then he gets to this house that more or less Christians were there. They killed each other and everything. He goes out to the barn, he gets a horse, and heads out for Atlanta. Okay, I'm just skipping a little bit of it. He goes to Atlanta, he finally gets to Atlanta, and he looks around. There's zombies everywhere. He doesn't know what's happened. His horse gets bit, so the horse jumps up into the air, and Rick falls on his back. So Rick defends himself with an axe he got from the barn with the horse, and shoots some zombies in the head. When he was doing this, one of the zombies got him, put their hand on his shoulder, and he looks around, and it's somebody he doesn't know. The guy just says, come on, you need to follow me before you die. They climb up a rooftop. Then we find out his name is Glenn, which is one of the major characters throughout the series. They head out, they get out of Atlanta, and Glenn shows him this camp that he was at. For that, they finally get to this campsite that has his wife and son and Sean there. So they were all heading to Atlanta. Something happened. They had to camp out there, and that's all. When they were at the camp, everybody gets along. Everybody there. I can't really spell out a lot of names there. I only know Dale, and that's basically it. Glenn and Dale, Sean. That's basically, I don't really know them. Then they find out that they're not well protected anymore because they're right outside of the city with all these zombies around. So Rick thinks of a plan of going into Atlanta, but he doesn't know how to get anywhere, so he asks Glenn. Glenn doesn't know anywhere where the gun store because he never actually went into Atlanta. So he asks somebody who actually did. And he says the road location and everything because he was in it, he got out before the zombie attack actually happened, or zombie attack did happen. They go into the town, well, they go into the woods where a dead one is because Rick killed it a few days ago. They got it up, put all its guts all over him, and start heading out to Atlanta to try a project that they were doing. They go by a zombie thinking that if they smell like a zombie, the zombies will protect them. And they try it. At first they think it was going to attack them because it swung at them. So Rick's like, no, it's not attacking us. It never got up. It just wants us to leave it alone. So the project was a good one. They go to the gun store. Then they grab a whole bunch of guns. It starts raining. The smells gets off of them and everything. And they start bolting back to the campsite. They make it back. But there's 1 second in that where Rick's coat got a little bit ripped because the zombie actually ripped it. He thinks he got bit. He's all worried and everything. And then we get a little thing. I don't want to spoil this too much, but Lori actually did something with Sean a few nights before Rick came to the camp. She's like, they were talking about the night before Rick came, and Lori said it was actually a mistake that she did and everything. So they get back to the camp, and they all practice for a few weeks. They get sidearms, so they're always with them. And finally, Rick says, we gotta go. We can't stay outside the city for all our lives, all the rest of the days. So, him and Sean battling against each other because Sean thinks it's going to be okay, they're going to be safe because the army will come any minute, and it will never happen actually. Rick says, he says it will take too much time. What are we going to do for the winter? He says, Sean says that we have enough firewood here, we can all stay together. And Rick says, if you're not, then I'll take my family. Then another attack happens. So they were all camping one night, and they all were talking about how their history was and everything. Then one of the girls, because a few comics in, she more or less passed away because of this attack. She goes to the washroom, she comes out, she says something, and a zombie bites her in the neck. And then there's like, I think 4 or 5 of them around, so all of the people who had sidearms killed them. The girl who was actually her sister killed the girl who was bitten in the neck, so she wouldn't turn, and that's what she said. Then we find out another person in the camp actually got bit. He keeps on getting sicker and sicker, which Dale knows that because his wife actually got bit, and it takes a day or two for the infection to actually spread throughout the body, kill you. So it more or less kills him. So he's like, no, don't shoot me. Just let me go into the city because my family actually all died in Atlanta from the zombie attack. That's the only way I got out because the zombies were too too busy eating all my family. So he's like, put me near the city, maybe I can see them. They do it, he dies, and for the ending, Rick and Sean are still battling at it. Then Sean's like, screw this, I'm not doing this because Lori got involved, and basically that's the end of Sean because he goes running off into the woods saying frig you and everything like that. And basically he was about to shoot Rick in the stomach or anywhere on his body, shoot Rick, and he was about to kill him. So Rick's like, stop, you're not going to do this. And Carl, Rick's son, which I never said his name, Carl pulls out his handgun and shoots Sean into the neck. Here, I'll put the picture, just 1 second. Yeah, here. Shoots him in the neck right down here. And you can tell it's Carl there. And we find out that's the end of the first volume. We know that they're going to move, but where? And let me see. It shows him laying on the ground, dying. So Sean's dying. So that's basically the first volume. Here, just 1 sec. If you do have the second volume, read along. If you don't, who cares? Basically that's it. And for the first volume, it is the TV show. The first season is all about this comic. So if you want to read along with the TV show, basically you have to read this. And then I'm thinking the second season is going to be involved with this one. So see you then. And for a quick reminder, I'm going to do Volume 2 next, or how the TV show combines into this. And see ya.